Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Dino Charge Season 1 Episode 20, One More Energem. So this video is going to center around that of Kendall. I decided to pick Kendall to talk about this episode because, it's Women's History Month and stuff, and Kendall was a very unique character in the Power Rangers mythos. Not only was she the inventor type person of all the Power Ranger weapons and stuff, but she was also somewhat their mentor because Keeper, I don't know, Keeper was all right, but Keeper never really seemed like a mentor all that much. He'll say something wise every once in a while, but it was never to the point where he actually told the Rangers, go do this and go do that, and, suit up and stuff like that. It was always more like her. So she was always more like the mentor leader type person who would boss them around. And she also had triple duty in the fact that she also was the inventor, but then she later became the purple Power Ranger in this episode. And purple is a very unique color because now she makes technically the third purple Power Ranger. The first one was the dude from Jungle Fury, and then the second one was technically also from this season. It was the old dude who found the energem, became the Purple Ranger, but then had to give it up because, he was too old and which is weird. If you morph, and shouldn't that enhance your body, you think, and stuff, but no. And so when they went looking for the Zord that it goes with and everything, a lot of stuff happens in this episode that causes her to be the Purple Ranger. Also, I've decided to talk about her for Women's History Month because of the simple fact that the actress, what's her name, Claire Blackwelder, she's actually the reason why I got back into Power Rangers, because I've mentioned this before. And so now I finally get to actually talk about this more in depth because I've talked about the reason why, but I get to talk about her character more in depth because I haven't done Dino Charge really any episodes except for that of Shelby when it came to that Black History Month last year and stuff. And so see how she got me back into Power Rangers was that around the Disney time I started to get annoyed by Power Rangers, started to kind of fade out. One of the problems I had with that of the Disney era is that where to watch it, because I didn't have cable at that time. So when it came on ABC, that was great because I could watch it, but then it kept bouncing around from other channels because ABC would have sports on Saturday mornings and stuff. And so I wasn't when it came to Disney era, I was always bopping around missing episodes and stuff. Also, Power Rangers was just starting to kind of decline. Disney was kind of tired of it and wanted to get rid of it because they didn't get much out of their investment that they wanted to. And so with each passing season, I don't know, it's just I wasn't really feeling it the way I used to. It started with Operation Overdrive. Now I do like Operation Overdrive and I own it on DVD. A lot of people give it hate, but I like that. I love the whole relic hunter aspect of it and stuff. One of the problems I have with Operation Overdrive is that it was around the time the acting started to go so-so and everything. And, I don't know if it was just because of the people unexperienced or it was just because, the directors told them, hey, I want you to act like this and stuff like that. So it started to become kind of a noticeable thing. Then, with other seasons like Jungle Fury, I like Jungle Fury, but it was just kind of with Jungle Fury, it was just kind of I don't know, it was just kind of uninteresting to me, kind of Wild Force. I guess those really bright, colorful animal seasons, I'm just never really feeling for some bizarre reason. And it was just very bright, it was really colorful, the story was nice and everything, but I was kind of wondering where it was going, and also because it kept bopping around from different channels, so I couldn't get the real full story until I watched it on Netflix and stuff. So maybe I have a different point of view of it now, but I've only really watched it 2.5 or actually maybe 1.5 times and stuff. And so like, but every time I always see it on YouTube with the whole live thing, I always catch it. But it's always the same episode for some reason. I need to watch it at a different time zone. And then so with RPM, I just wasn't feeling that season because of all the humor, which you know me, I do not like humor in Power Rangers whatsoever. I just now started to watch the rest of the second half of like Dino Fury, and I think it was episode 14. I wanted to rip my eyeballs out from what I saw. It was basically just a filler episode. And so, like, why in the world did they navigate away from the Power Rangers being on Rafcon with Lord Zed just to go back to Earth and see what J-Borg and that newspaper, that news reporter lady was doing with the dartboard competition? Why was that? There was 2 scenes dedicated to that. Why? It's like they went from like that to beginning with, the action, and then they went right back to the Earth stuff. And it's like, why? This is why I'm having a problem with Power Rangers today. It's unnecessary filler and humor that's getting added into it. And then like with Ion, who I do not like, he's just kind of dopey and everything. I don't like Ollie either. He's really dopey and like silly, and they're both silly and dopey and stuff. When the Rangers talk, they talk very bland, like they're bored. And yeah, I'm bored too. And then what made it worse is that when the villains were fighting them, and the villains in general, the villains kept being so humorous. The one robot dude's all like, "Can I use the bathroom? I haven't used the bathroom since we left Earth." And Zed's all like, "You're a robot, you don't even pee." Why write that for the kiddos? But the kiddos are like, seriously, man, like, I don't get this crap. And it's like, it's just too stinking humorous. Sorry about that. That was the phone. And so like, where was I? Yeah, it was just silly humor with like, you know, the aliens. And then when they were fighting the Rangers, they kept making dumb jokes. Like, it's like MCU type jokes where it takes you, also Josh Whedon type humor with Buffy. Like, it takes you out the mode and it makes you this awkward joke. And it was just like, what the world, man? So it's like, that's one of the reasons why Dino Fury just isn't one of my favorites. And so with RPM, it was too humorous. It had a great serious tone, but it was a little too humorous and stuff. But also I felt like, you know, what does it matter? Because we know from SPD and Time Force, everything's gonna be okay. So we knew everything was gonna be okay in that season, but we didn't know at that time it's from a different dimension and stuff. And so I started to phase out a Power Ranger, but what really killed my love of Power Rangers was that weird retro season when they went back to Mighty Morphin. And they just kind of made it into like a weird comic booky looking thing. I'm like, no, I'm out. I'm out. And then when I heard Nickelodeon got it and Samurai, so I watched the first episode of Samurai, and I did not like the first episode of Samurai. I found it kind of bleak, kind of boring, and the acting wasn't that great. So I said, I'm done. And I was done for at least 3 seasons after that, so probably like 3 years, and I never wanted to watch Power Rangers again. I was just gonna watch the older stuff, right? And then I decided to go to YouTube because I was kind of curious to see what was kind of going on in Power Rangers. I wanted to see what the morphs looked like and the intros looked like. That's what I really like. And so by the time a Megaforce had wrapped up and stuff, that's when I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. They're transforming into past Rangers. But that still wasn't enough to get me to want to go back to Power Rangers and stuff, right? And then so somebody, I don't know who, did this whole thing where, you know, every person in this color morphs and everything. And so as I'm going around, like, you know, 'cause they had like red and like and blues and stuff like that. And so then I saw Purple Rangers, and then I'm all like, wait, hold up, this video is a little bit too long. Like, there's only one Purple Ranger. See, I only knew of one at that time. And so I clicked the video and like, so I watched it. And so after they did the Jungle Fury dude, then they did the old dude from Dino Charge. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it's longer and everything. But then all of a sudden, I saw this nerdy girl with glasses and a ponytail looking really hot. And she said a phrase that made like, whoa, you're awesome and everything. I think she said something like, this will be the last thing like you ever hear or something like that. And then she called the morph and everything, and everybody like, morphed along with her. I'm all like, I don't know who this hot nerdy girl is, but she's pretty hot. So I'm all like, I need to check this season out. But then I had watched the purple video before I watched the pink video, so I didn't know about Shelby and everything, and she's equally hot and everything. And so like I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna get to watch the whole season of like Dino Charge and seeing her beat the Purple Ranger. And it took her to the last episode. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But that's when I rewatched that season. See, when I started watching again, it was actually in the second season. And so like I didn't know what the world was going on. And then as I started watching it, I'm all like, why is the Asian dude acting so weird and talking so weird? I'm like, this can't be this bad Ranger acting again. But then I found out he's a caveman. So I'm like, oh, that's why he talks the way he does. And so then I started watching the rest of the season, not knowing what the heck is going on. So then I decided then to go back on Netflix and watch the whole thing. I'm all like, where's Kendall? Where's Kendall? Like, I want to see her morph. And then of course it took to the last episode for her, like, the morph and everything. Because that's when she got her powers. And she's a very brave woman, a very stubborn woman and everything. Like, she has that chip on her shoulder. Like, she will not let you call her Kendall. You have to call her Miss Morgan. She only lets Coda call her, like, Kendall and stuff. And so, like, she's a really interesting character. She's a little bit of Cat Max and a little bit of Doggy Kruger all mixed into one. And so, like, that's why I found her like to be fascinating, and why I decided to make this like Women History Month video about her. Now, I'm not going to go through every female Ranger. I still haven't decided yet. I might take a couple of years off and then do it then, or I might find like a really special episode that highlights the female and stuff. But when it comes to the Female History Month, I only dedicate it to the female Rangers that are like my all-time like favorite, or had like a huge impact on like the show. And so that's why last year I did it with like, the Lost Galaxy women. I did it with Jen. I'm going to do it with Tori this year, because Tori, of course, was the first blue female Ranger. And that's something right there. And plus she was always my favorite of the show, because of how tough she is and cute and stuff. But like a lot of the other female Rangers, it's just like, because of the Sentai stuff, they're just regular girly girl females and stuff. And their storylines and Power Rangers, some are really actually good and very impactful and stuff like that. Even some that aren't my favorite. Oh yeah, and I'm also going to do like Kelsey and stuff. I always like Kelsey. But then there's a really good Dana episode that was like really like wow, you know what I'm saying? Even though Dana wasn't really my favorite, there was like a really wow episode that really like wow got me and stuff. Actually, there was two that I'll talk about and stuff. And so like, yeah. And so, and of course, I'm gonna do like Cat Max, because everybody loves Cat Max, and I love Cat Max and everything. I just wish she was a Ranger more. But like, I'm not gonna really go through like every female Ranger there is, because like with Samurai, I don't remember that season, to tell you the truth. I really, really don't. And I just remember not liking it. And there are other female Rangers, like say in Mystic Force. Now I like Mystic Force, but it's hard to find a Ranger to actually like, because it's centered around only really one Ranger and one Ranger only. Xander was actually pretty cool and everything, but the two female Rangers, although they're nice and different in both in personality, even though they're sisters, I really can't find nothing to talk about them much. But I'll probably do them for like Hispanic month and everything. I have to first make sure they're actually Hispanic. It's hard to tell sometimes. Once they went over to New Zealand, a lot of people who you think are like Hispanic aren't Hispanic on the show. Like take Izzy. I like the actress who plays Izzy. I love the character of Izzy. Izzy is my favorite, but she's playing a Hispanic, but she ain't Hispanic. But when you look at her next to Ollie, their skin tone is similar. So it's kind of like, and he's Hispanic. And it's kind of like, well, what exactly is she? Well, of course, she's from New Zealand, so I think she might be Maori, I think, or something like that. or Mori. I forget how you pronounce that and stuff. But yeah, so I didn't actually talk about this episode because I've been talking about like Kendall and other stuff and stuff like that. But I wanted to actually go a little bit more in depth as to what got me back into Power Rangers, because once I saw her morph and everything, because I liked what she said and I liked how she looked, and I liked that she was a purple ranger, which is a very rare ranger. I decided, you know what, I gotta start checking this stuff out again. So on Netflix, I went all the way back to the beginning. I went back to like Mighty Morphin and I rewatched that all the way up to the current season of like Dino Charge at that time. And so like, yeah, and then it's kind of like when I got to Nickelodeon stuff, I'm just like, Lord have mercy. Like, what happened to Power Rangers? Because like, even though I got back into Power Rangers, I'm not necessarily happy because of the stuff I've been seeing going on with, like, you know, Nickelodeon, the new Saban, the Neo Saban era, Hasbro, and then of course, like, you know, what's going on with Netflix right now with, like, you know, the Dino Fury stuff. And so like, and then like also Ninja Steel, like I can't get into Ninja Steel and everything. And I can't even get into like, I don't even think I have a favorite Ranger, I don't think, in Ninja Steel. I thought the Gold Ranger was pretty cool, but he came in pretty late. But other than that, like I don't really like Ninja Steel. So it's like, even though I'm glad she got me back into Power Rangers, because now I started collecting the merch, I collect the DVDs that I like, it's like, Power Rangers ain't the same no more. And I'm still trying to figure out why everybody loves Dino Fury so much. I don't get it. Dino Fury to me is boring. It feels like a teen drama that just so happens to have Power Rangers in it. Similar to Turbo. Turbo felt like a sitcom that just had Power Rangers in it. Like, I look back at season 2, episode 14, and I just like, my God, why are they focusing on J-Borg and that competition they're having? Like, why? I don't get, that was filler. That was unnecessary filler. And then Simon Bennett talking about, oh, well, we can't have that many civilian fights because it's pointless and stuff. Well, you know what was pointless? That whole J-Borg and that news reporter lady having that dart game and everything. That was unnecessary. And if you want to make a kiddie show, go make a kiddie show that's not Power Rangers. And this is what's really pissing me off, because it's hard to stay a Power Ranger fan because of what's all been going on behind the scenes and everything. We don't know if Power Rangers is going to survive or not. We don't know what's going on with Netflix. People are pissed over the toy line. Hasbro, I don't care what people say. Hasbro just don't care. And I truly believe Hasbro's kind of like, we put all this money into Beast Morphers, all this money into Power Rangers, and we're not getting what we want out of our investment. And that sounds like Disney right there. So to this episode, one more energem. So the episode starts off with Sledge on his ship, and he has his minions there, and his girlfriend slash fiance is very pissed off because she doesn't want to be there no more. She just want to leave. And of course, he's like the bounty hunter type dude, and he wants the energems. And so he tells her, you know, I got the purple energem, but she's all pissed off and furious. And so they make a deal, like, you know, one more energem, and then they can get married. But of course, he wants them all. So he devises a plan to get the energems. Well, down in the Rangers base and everything, Kendall has created some type of device that can sniff out energems and can like grab it with his mechanical arm. She's an inventor. That's what she does. You know, she's very highly intelligent and she knows a lot about dinosaurs. And so like, but the thing is, they have to be able to get like this device on Sledge's ship. So they're not really sure how they're gonna do that. So they figure that at some point in time, since he wants the energems, and since he got one, he's gonna want them all. So at some point, he's gonna find them. And so she calls the Prince dude, who's like the Graphite Ranger. Finally, this dude has returned. My main problem with this season is that I think there was like, what, 10 Rangers and everything? And you only got like 6 at a time. And then, of course, when Kendall turns into the Purple Ranger, you had 7 at a time. And so that's something that's always bugged me. It's like those additional Rangers that came in just like disappeared from the show because they was on some type of other mission. I don't know how it is in the Sentai, but yeah, I know it can be difficult to write multiple Rangers, but who cares? Just do it. You have multiple episodes in another season. And so it was cool to see him back because, he's like a gray ranger. But then it's weird because then in season 2, they get a silver ranger. So now they have 2 grayish type rangers and 2 bluish type rangers. And I hate when they do that. Why couldn't they just make one yellow or white or orange or something like that, And so they all go out into the forest and everything like they always do. And here comes Sledge sending down tons of escape pods down with his minions. And so the Rangers, they morph and everything, but Kendall has a plan. She takes Ivan away while the Rangers deal with Sledge, but he puts them in some type of frozen fog type thing or frozen smoke that freezes them. And so they can't move, and Kendall is kind of like crap. So she sends Ivan, the Gold Ranger, to do it, go get his Zord and everything, right? And so at some point, Keeper comes in, and it's cool. He's about to bust a move and everything. So he's about to protect his Rangers because he has a soft spot. I can't talk. A soft spot for them in his heart. Because they were chosen to be Rangers because of the energems and this and that from the dinosaurs that he put in them and stuff like that. So he's doing his best and he's holding his own until Sledge gets the upper hand on him and takes him captive. This really worries Kendall and everything because she has a soft spot for the Keeper. So she puts the device in one of the pods. And so Tyler gets free, and so he takes the Keeper's staff and he fights off Sledge. But Sledge and his minions, they escape and everything. And so the Rangers, they go into the pterodactyl Zord. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember, but it looks like a pterodactyl, so whatever. I gotta say, man, the CGI on this season was really good. Sledge's ship looked really good, and the Zords looked really good. And normally the CGI looks like crap, like a video game and stuff. So they really upped their ante with this season. This is why this is one of the best of the Neo Saban era and stuff. And so Kendall, she takes the initiative. She decides when Keeper gets kidnapped, she's going to rescue him. And that's very brave of her. One of the things I like about her, because she's just the tech mentor person. She doesn't have that much fighting skills. The only fighting skills we ever saw her have is take a shovel and smack somebody in the head with it. She did some kind of weird tumble flip thing, which I did not appreciate because she's supposed to be the nerdy type. Nobody ever said anything about her being the athletic type. So, the most she can do is just smack somebody around. So she elbows this one foot soldier and she gets into the pod. Doesn't even think twice about it. She has no powers. I love that. I love how brave she is. So she's up there, man. And the Rangers are trying to figure out where she's at. And she's all I'm heading to what's his name ship. So Tyler decides to get Shelby, and they decide to go in the purple Ranger Zord and everything, since there's no Purple Ranger yet. This is the one thing that's always bugged me about this season is anybody can control anybody's Zord. So what's the point in having an energem that's supposed to connect to that certain Ranger and that certain animal and everything? I never understood that. And also all these different configurations, it's man, they must have had a huge toy sale. So they're on their way into outer space and everything like that. And so when she gets on his ship, everything pretty much goes to plan. She sneaks around and, she puts on a hazmat suit so nobody can see her identity. And one of the other, general type dudes, he gives her the energems all give this to Sledge immediately and everything. So, of course, she just puts it in her pocket. Now, one of the things I love about this episode is that normally when we see her, she's very stern, very focused. But she realizes she's over her head with this, So you see the fear on her face every now and then. And because of that, we also get to see a little bit of a humor side to her with these weird facial expressions that she makes. You know, because she's in an awkward position, so she has like an awkward like expression, and I like that. It's a nice little change of pace from her. It's showing that she's not perfect. You know, she knows she can't fight. She knows she's outnumbered. She knows she's about to get her butt kicked and everything. So I like seeing that fear on her look. Well, anyway, she decides she's gonna dismantle their ship. I just take like a hammer to it and just start whacking it. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you have no powers. Why are you thinking? That's the thing. All she's thinking about is saving the earth and everything. If she can blow that ship up, then that's it. They won and everything. All the bad guys will get blown up. Well, of course, she gets found out. And so by that time, I forgot to mention, Sledge took the Red Ranger's energem when he was on the planet. So anyway, and so she finally finds Keeper, and they're about to get executed. But then she grabs like some chemicals and she puts like a hole in the floor, and they both jump down in there. Then once again, she's trying to fight her way out by taking a tool and just start whacking people with it because she knows she can't fight. And you gotta give it up to her. She's determined, man. And so like all of a sudden something starts glowing in her pocket. It's the purple energem. It chose her and everything. And she's very shocked and amazed to see this, like, you know, that the gem chose her. And Keeper's all like, he always knew that one day she would be the one to take like an energem and everything. And because of like how devoted she is to like the mission, and the energem can like sense that and stuff. So of course now she has a sword, and now she can really start whacking them now. Well, of course Shelby and Tyler comes in. For some bizarre reason, Shelby has decided to demorph. Why? That has never made no sense to me. I never understood it. Like, she's on enemy territory, so she's gonna need her powers and not just a blaster. So why in the world did she demorph? I know they didn't get that much civilian like screen time and everything, but still, that just don't never make no sense. It's kind of like when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man always takes off his mask. It's like, why? And so like they all get like out of there, so they get keeping all them. But then Tyler realizes, oh wait, I need my energem, so he tells them to go without him. And so they take the purple Megazord and stuff like that, which is now Kendall's Zord. And what's cool about that, it's a regular dinosaur, but it can also turn into its own Megazord. And that's like awesome. She gets her own Megazord too. Like, that's totally like awesome and crap. And so, like, you know, she goes back down to the planet, and then so Tyler, he fights his way through with just his blaster and everything. He gets, he finds his energem, but then he's unable to get to it. But the little robot thing that Kendall created gets his energem. So he morphs, he blasts his way out of there, and he realizes, oh crap, dude, there ain't no more escape pods. So he has to free fall it and everything. Somehow he did not burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. The ship did, but he didn't. So I don't understand how that's possible. Anyway, he's saved. They do a new reconfiguration with the Zord. They take out the monster, and Sledge's ship crashes down on the planet. And so now the Rangers are all demorphed. They're back at their head out, and Kendall is happy she has an energem, and she's a Power Ranger. Because you gotta imagine, that would be pretty awesome. You just like the little tech person mentor, and you want to be out in the field, but you can't. And now she can and everything. So now, with them thinking Sledge and all his people are blown up with the ship, and they have 8 of the 10 energems, they realize that their mission is, for the most part, done. So she tells them they can go their own separate ways, and they can find the other 2 energems themselves and everything. So they go their own ways, and the trio, the Green, Red, and Pink Ranger, they all kind of do an homage when they first met and everything. His scooter's not working, Shelby needs a ride, so it was like a nice little homage thing. But then we get our second villain for the second season, Heckle. He's in the ship and he's now free and everything. And so the second season, in my opinion, isn't as great as the first. But at least we get 10 Rangers at some point in time. And so, yeah, you know, like, I've always liked Kendall. If it wasn't for her and that one morph I saw, I would have never gotten back into Power Rangers and stuff. And I would never start buying, like, you know, the merch and the DVDs. And it's like all for her, man. It's all because of her. All because I saw whoa, look at that. So like it got me back into something I used to love growing up with, you know, but then I fell out of love with it and stuff. And that's kind of cool and everything, you know. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.